So, good afternoon, viewers, subscribers, family, friend, followers, well wishers. I just want to say good afternoon or good day. Welcome to another video. Welcome to another vlog on Journey with Kevin. Today's topic or today's video, I just want to educate us about HIV. It's a topic I wanted to put forward for the past couple of weeks, but now is the time. Nothing can happen before the time, so basically it's time for that now. HIV. What does the word HIV means? HIV means human immunodeficiency virus. This is a virus that can be contracted through different ways and means. I have my qualification. Let me just get it. So, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if you can read what it says. HIV and AIDS 101 for service providers, certificate of certificate of participation. I always have tongue twisting problem when it comes to participation and certificate because of the way in which we're socialized. A lot of people say certificate and not certificate, so it's like that was a tongue twisting problem. So I've done the HIV training and workshop, and I was given this certificate to show that I have successfully completed the HIV and AIDS training workshop for service providers. That means I can go across the world and educate people about HIV. As you can see, it was given by Toronto Public Health. HIV and AIDS. Human immunodeficiency virus, a virus that attacks the body of the immune system or attacks the body's immune system. I'm gonna read it again. Human immunodeficiency virus. This is a virus that attacks the human's body immune system. So it attacks the immune system of the body, right? All these big words, see with me. I'm not a person who lectures while reading. I normally just study my piece and just go up and present from the top of my head. But I'm reading some stuff as I go along. The notes that I gathered, I'll be reading as I go along. HIV is not, if HIV is not treated, it can lead to AIDS. What is AIDS? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. HIV is the beginning step or stage of AIDS. So a lot of times we see people and we say they have AIDS. Not everyone has AIDS. AIDS is the end result. If a person contracts the HIV, they can be treated. Once they are on their medications and they take it properly, the virus will not lead up to AIDS. It will just stay as HIV. Once they take their medication and their viral load goes lower, they become undetectable. There are persons who are HIV positive, but they are undetectable. What does undetectable mean? It means that their viral load is less than the amount where a person should have in order for them to be able to pass it on to somebody else. A person who's positive with HIV or HIV positive does not, there are persons who are HIV positive and their viral load is low and they cannot pass it to somebody else. That means it's undetectable. So only them and their doctors can tell you they have it. So if you go and sleep with this person unprotectedly, there is no way of you contracting the virus from the person because their viral load is very low. That is something that your doctor would basically, can basically tell you if you are worried about the whole viral load and how low it can be based on the whole person passing it on to the next person. So if a person takes their medication and take it properly on time as directed by the doctor, their virus or the HIV virus most likely will get like to a lower point where they become undetectable. If they don't take their medications as prescribed and they don't continue to take their medication, then some people might develop AIDS, which is the end result. That's the stage that take people to their dying bed, or persons who die from the virus because it moved from one stage to the next stage. Are you getting me? I hope you are getting me. So, personal disclosure, I've slept with somebody who is HIV positive and I never contract the disease. A lot of persons may think that it's contagious by just sharing a drink with somebody, sharing a straw with somebody, sleeping in the same bed with somebody, using the same toilet seat or the same cup to drink from. It's not that easy to pass the virus from one person to the next person. It takes more than that. In order for a person to pass HIV to a next person, they have to either do it through blood transfusion, like for example, they share needles. Persons who smoke, persons who use drugs, they share needles. So if I am HIV positive and I stick myself with the needle and I spike myself up and I push the whatever fluid inside of my body through my blood, and then I use that needle and give it to somebody else and I'm HIV positive, then the person might catch the virus because the needle would have enough of the virus to pass it on to the next person because it's going from blood to blood. There are also persons who say they are blood brothers or whatever, some form of practice. They would cut their fingers and then they put it together. That is enough because the wounds are both open, that can pass the virus from one person to the next. It can be passed from a mother to a child during breastfeeding. Very rare, sometimes they get it in pregnancy, but because of the whole blood movement and the body movement. But I know one of the cases that is more present in is through breastfeeding, and that is why sometimes when a mother is positive and she gives birth, the doctors would advise that they don't breastfeed until they know what is what and see how they can manage the system and monitor the child. So you have blood transfusion, you have sharing of needles, you have mother to child. There is also unprotected sexual activities. I have not seen any tests that have shown that oral, you know what that means? Oral is one of the ways in which people contract or contact the disease or the virus. I do know that if both persons have an open wound, remember, whatever you do down there, if there is not an open wound, then the possibility of contracting or passing the virus is minimal. There are miraculous cases that I am not aware of, so I cannot speak of it. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you that either, but from all the studies and the statistics that I have seen, I am yet to see anything that says it can be passed from oral. So that doesn't mean you should go out there and doing a lot of oral stuff, but just saying. Persons are worried if they can contract the virus by kissing somebody. Again, if there's no wound in your mouth and there's no open wound in the other person's mouth, the possibility is minimal. Not saying it's not possible, I'm saying it is minimal. So those are like the 5 ways in which HIV can be passed. So if a person is doing a tattoo and the tattoo artist does the person who is positive first, and then after the tattoo person is done doing that person, then they use the same needle on you, yes, you can contract the virus like that. So when you go to do tattoos, make sure that the tattoo person is taking out a brand new needle from a brand new container or from a plastic. Tattoo artists tend to sterilize their tattoo needles and use them back. Do not let them do that on you. Tattoos are too expensive for you to let them sterilize a needle and use it back on you. I give myself my own injections at home and I never repeat my needles. I'm not positive and I'm only using it among myself, and I never repeat my needles. Every time I'm done with a needle, it goes to the needle bin. Alright, as it relates to preventative methods, there is PEP and there is PrEP. I'm gonna tell you the difference between PEP and PrEP, because I already tell you what is HIV. I already tell you the ways in which you can pass it. So people, do not just go out there and be having unprotected sex in times like these, because HIV is very much aware and open, and it's spreading just like coronavirus. So, not saying that if you contract the virus you're gonna die from the virus. Not everybody dies from the virus, because once you take your medication you can live a healthy and a normal life. I have friends who are HIV positive over 10 years. My very good friend who motivated me to even go to the workshop, because I wanted to learn more about HIV so I could be a better friend to her. She is positive over 26 years. She was supposed to come on my program to speak about it, but because of the whole COVID and we're not really linking up with people like before, so I told her when I'm gonna do part two, then I'll try to connect with her. I'm gonna take on the topic on my own. So people do live long after HIV. 25 years positive. She even had a child recently. Her child will be maybe one or I think her child is 2 years by now, and the baby doesn't have HIV, but yet she's full blown HIV positive. And I have known other persons. I have a friend who's been HIV positive 13 years. Her viral load is very low, so nobody knows it's undetectable. There are other people I know who've been 20 years, 13 years, 15 years, 5 years, and a lot more. I know this person who I work with in the past. He's 30 years positive and still living a healthy life. So now let me speak about PEP and PrEP, because I'm not here to just stress you out about the bad part about HIV. PEP and PrEP. So PEP, let me give you a little basic intro about the PEP first. So the PrEP is the post-exposure prophylaxis. The post-exposure prophylaxis. What this is, it's a preventative medical treatment started after a person is exposed to the virus in order to prevent the infection from occurring. So if you know that you slept with somebody who is HIV positive and the person confessed to you that the viral load is above certain amount, so it can be passed on to you within the first 24 to 48 hours, if you are aware, even if it's after, visit your nearest doctor, visit your nearest clinic. There are the medications that can help you. There are medications that can help you. So the post-exposure is after you've been exposed, you take that medication. And the PrEP is the pre-exposure. Let me go again. So the PrEP is the pre-exposure prophylaxis. That is the one you take before you sleep with someone who's HIV positive. Persons who are negative can be in a long-term relationship, marriage, to someone who is positive and they do not contract the disease. How and why? These people start taking the pre-exposure before intercourse. So if I'm going to date somebody who is positive, I start taking the medication 30 days before our first encounter, and I continue to take it even while I'm with the person. So practically for the rest of my life, I would have to be taking this medication while I'm with the person. So I can sleep with you and do all the things with you, unprotected sex and all of that if I want to, and I never contract the disease or the virus. As long as the person knows if they have a wound, then they protect me and let me know that my mouth, I have a cold sore, so don't be kissing me on my mouth, just for other preventative methods. I'm already on the medication, so it's already helping my body not to contract the virus, but just for preventative methods, if my partner who is positive think that he or she has a cold sore or an open wound, then they let me know, so I try not to mix and mingle in it too much. Not that I must scar on the person, but it's just for preventative methods. The post-exposure now is if you sleep with somebody who is HIV positive and you have a feeling that you've been exposed, then you visit the nearest doctor and they give you the medication. I think it comes in the form of pills, so you can take it to prevent yourself from catching the virus or from having the infection occur. So yes, you might get a little fluid passed on to you. Before that fluid is able to mature into something bigger or into the virus, then you can stop it. It's just like you catch the flu. As soon as you feel like the flu is coming on, you run to the doctor and you get some antibiotics and you get some cough syrup and whatever to prevent it from getting any worse. It's something similar to that. When you feel like you're exposed to the virus, you hurry up and you take the medication so the virus doesn't get any worse. So I'm not going to make this video too long, but people, you cannot catch the virus by shaking hands with somebody or hugging somebody. What I also want to put across in this video, people who are HIV positive, they are human beings just like us. And they fall under the marginalized community, just like the LGBTQ and the other groups that are treated as outcasts or feeling isolated most time because of the norms of society. There are certain groups in society who feel like they are above other groups. The HIV people unfortunately find themselves to be a part of the marginalized community because a lot of people stereotype them, speak negative things about them. When they see them on the street, they throw words to say if they were protecting themselves, they would not catch the disease, and they would say, oh, watch the or she passed and she give it to everybody else. And they would look at the guys and they say the same thing. If it wasn't for you, my son wouldn't be HIV positive. And they also have the myth that says gay men pass it more than anybody else because gay men tend to be a lot more promiscuous. Well, anybody can be promiscuous, so it's time people stop pointing fingers on the LGBTQ community or the gay community or whatever community to say they did this or they did that. A lot of heterosexual couples have HIV, but they won't say it. One other thing I would like to say to people, get tested. The sooner you get tested is the longer you can live. The sooner you get tested is the quicker you can be able to fight the virus and fight your body from other things that may come as a result of the virus. If you contract the HIV virus, your immune system starts to deteriorate in different ways. So it might not be the HIV virus to affect you, but something else can. If you have the virus, it starts acting up on your blood cells, and if you should catch the flu or any other STDIs or STIs, your body is gonna be putting up too much, or too many things will be happening in your body at the same time, and you don't want the immune system to crash. And this is why people die and think that is the HIV that killed them. Other things happen. A person can have cancer and they did not treat the HIV, and then the cancer mixed with the HIV, and that's more problem. And then they catch a STD, STI at the same time, and everything is just adding up. So everything is just fighting in your body is just in a tug and war. Get tested. Person watching my video, when was the last time you did a HIV test? Have you ever done a HIV test? I do my testings every 6 months. Even though I'm not sleeping around, I still do my testing every 6 months because you can catch it through different ways. I do tattoos a lot. Every year I put on a tattoo practically. Last year alone I did 4 tattoos. So I get tested because I want to know my status. I can be faithful and my partner is not faithful and not telling me. The other partners I was with, maybe they weren't faithful and they weren't telling me. So because you're being faithful doesn't mean your partner is not being faithful. So sometimes you have to protect yourself. How can you protect yourself if you don't know? If you know that you're positive also and you're watching this video, please do not be sleeping around with other people unprotected and not telling them. Again, where the law is concerned in Canada, if your viral load is low, you don't have to disclose to anybody that you're HIV positive, even if you're in a relationship. But it's good if you do so at least you can know if the person loves you for who you are. If your viral load is above the limit where you can pass it to somebody else, you are supposed to disclose to the person that you're going to sleep with if you're not wearing a condom. I'm almost certain the law says if you're wearing a condom, you don't have to disclose. But for persons who are going into relationship, it's wise to disclose. So this is where educating people are concerned. Because people tend to sue people when they find out that the person they were sleeping with is HIV positive and the person did not disclose. So this is where the law comes in to protect HIV positive persons to their own privacy. So if you have to disclose, you can bring a third person with you or use your doctor as the witness to say that you disclose to the person. I've done a few disclosure visits with clients. Clients would have taken me to talk to their parents or to talk to their partners or to disclose their status with their family and so forth. And I have to be witness for them because of the work that I do sometimes. So this is where I tend to get some of this knowledge from. So I hope people learn something from my video. At the end of this video, I'm going to do a short Kahoot. I'm gonna add it to the back of this to see how much you learn, if you learn anything. The Kahoot is just gonna be 10 questions, and the answers will be there and everything. So while the Kahoot is playing, just see if you can answer the questions without making mistakes before you get to the end of it, and then I'll see if this topic make any sense to anyone and if anyone learned anything. There is so many more things that I could go on and speak about, but I'm gonna just leave that for another video. As I'm on the topic of HIV, I'm gonna read a spoken word that I did on the topic of HIV for one of my presentations. When I go to present, I normally do this spoken word. HIV, immunodeficiency virus. It's a deadly disease that some people It's a deadly virus that some people classify as a disease. It can also be an infection that affects the body of the human generation. It can be transferred through blood transfusion, by sharing needles in the form of injection, unprotected sex, as a lot of men say skin to skin is the best. It's a pity they don't know how risky this practice is. Look at an innocent child contracting this virus from a mother. Society would say she should have known better. However, we are all humans. We make mistakes. We forget important things. It's no shame or disgrace. If you've been exposed to the virus, check the nearest walk-in clinic. In other countries, you would say check the nearest doctor's office. There is PrEP medication that can slow down the virus before it's strong enough to pass to someone else. There is also PrEP medication. It's used for prevention before having sex with someone who is positive. And you now can enjoy the sex with all the chemistry. Let's forget about the sad story. Time for positive reflection. My friend has been HIV positive for 25 years. She seems to be so happy and she's not living in fear. She recently had her daughter and she's healthy and strong. The child doesn't have the virus, so that's some positive vibration. Don't let your situation determine your final destination. If you are HIV positive, you can still live happily. Just take the medication as required daily, and you can live longer and enjoy life with your friends and family. That's one of my spoken words. This one was on HIV, the virus. Some people say it's deadly. We all are going to die someday. We don't know what is going to take us out of this world. So what I would say to people, live good and enjoy life to the best of your ability. Whatever it is that you can do. If you're confined to a wheelchair, find something that makes you laugh. Even if it means playing a video game. Even if it means playing card pack games on your phone. Even if it means just playing some Ludo, dominoes. We have to find something that makes us smile. We cannot go through life 7 days a week without laughing. It takes less muscles to laugh than it takes to frown. You want to have a healthy face, you want to live and have a healthy life and not have a lot of wrinkles on your face, laugh some more. Smile a while and give your face a rest. I'm going to drop the video with the Kahoot and then I'll come back. To start the Kahoot, I want you all to follow and try to answer the questions and tell me the answer at the end. Write down your answers, then tell me the answer at the end. So that's the question. What does HIV stand for? Next question. A person can contract HIV during the first intercourse with persons who is HIV positive. True or false? A person can contract HIV during the first intercourse with a person with HIV. Next question. PrEP abbreviation. What does this abbreviation mean? PrEP. What does PrEP abbreviation means? Next question. What's the definition of HIV? What is the definition of HIV? Is it red, blue, yellow, or green? Read the answers carefully, as fast as you can. Next question. PrEP is taken before being exposed to the virus. True or false? PrEP is taken before being exposed to the virus. True or false? Let's go to the next question. AIDS is the first stage of HIV. True or false? AIDS is the first stage of HIV. True or false? Let me see how many persons were paying attention. Oh my goodness, did I just show them the answer? What does the AIDS abbreviation stand for? What does the AIDS abbreviation stand for? Red, blue, or yellow? Anyone who gets all the answers correct in this Kahoot will be getting one of my merch, a t-shirt from my merch. You can have unprotected sex with someone who is HIV positive and not contract the virus if the person is undetected. True or false? Read again. True or false, people? Anybody who gets all correct will be getting one of my merch if you have not already won a merch. So if you have not already won a merch and you get all these questions correct, then it means you participated, you paid attention to the video that I just loaded. So if you are the winner and you got all the questions correct, I will be mailing a merch to you. As for the other persons who have won merch, I'll be mailing them off in 2 weeks time. Regardless of where you live, I will be shipping them in 2 weeks time because I was out for a while because of my surgery. As soon as the doctor clears me to drive again, then I'll be able to drive to pick up the merch and do the delivery, and then I'll mail them. So let's go. Question number 9. How many ways can HIV be passed on? 3, 5, or 4? How many ways can someone contract HIV virus? 3, 4, or 5? What's the answer? And for the final question. Final question. HIV can be passed on in which of the ways? Which of the following ways can HIV be passed on? Unprotected sex, mother to child, blood transfusion, injection, or sharing of needles. Which of the following ways can HIV be passed on? So guys, thank you for watching my video on HIV. There's a lot more things to learn on HIV that I could not put in one video, so I will be doing a live about HIV very soon, but I'd like to do uploads so people can have to watch, because not everyone will participate in the live and not everyone will go back and watch the live because the lives are always longer. So even some of the lives that I've done, I'm gonna redo in smaller versions and take the topics apart one by one. Okay, so thank you for being a part of my channel. Thank you for watching this another video. For the Kahoot section, anybody who gets all 10 questions correct based on my video that I explained, you will receive a merch. So once you are the winner, I am going to contact you for your mailing information and which color merch that you will be needing and the size, and I'll be shipping it to you because I said I was going to give away 4 merch. 3 persons won already, so this will be the 4th one. Again, thank you for being a part of my channel. Thank you for taking me this far to monetization and all of that. I look forward to your continued support. Remember, share the videos. Share the videos. My services come to you for free. If I should be paid, let YouTube be the one to pay me in the future. Remember, my channel is all about helping people in whatever way I can. So this is just another motivational speech, another information speech, another educational speech, so somebody somewhere can learn something. Until next time, your boy, father figure, uncle, big brother, humble Kev, hothead Kev, Kevin Konsious Davis is out.